Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 5, I think, of the cigar box guitar build project. So in the previous episode I'd roughed out the neck blank for this second of the cigar box guitars, and if you remember, I had to figure out what markings to do for cutting out the thickness of the headstock. Well, I've been doing some measuring up, and this is a week later anyway. So this is what I've come up with. So this double line here is more or less where the nut is going to be. It's not completely accurate yet, but it's the ballpark. And so from those two double lines there, if I come down, and you'll see there's a mark or a pencil line going down here, and there's two pencil lines going along here. So these are where I need to make the cuts, but I want to stop at this pencil line, which is quite a bit short of the placement for the nut, and it's the same on the other side. I've got the markings here for where I'm going to be making the cuts, and then stop here, which again is quite short of the nut placement, because I need to put, so where the nut's going to be, I need to put a curve downwards towards the towards the neck and the fretboard itself. So what I'm going to do today is make these cuts here, and I'm going to cut also from the top down to there and the bottom up to these marks here. So just a straight cut, and then cut these lines out, and then I'm going to put the curve in there, top and bottom, or front and back, whichever you prefer. Once I've done that, I want to, as I said, try and get the curve more or less to shape, not finalized again, and then I want to make sure that this is nice and level, so I'm going to sand it flat, and the same with this surface here, which is going to be where the fretboard lies. And I'm going to do a little bit on the back as well. That's not so crucial because most of it's going to be carved away, but I want to attach the heel block. So I need to make sure I've got a nice flat surface there, and I'm going to be taking a bit of this off because it's too long. So I want to attach the heel block on the back, and I also want to attach the fretboard as well. So obviously they've both got to be glued in place. Now if I only get as far as that today, I'll be kind of happy. But what I really would like to achieve today is, as I said, cut this out and level it all off, glue the heel block on, and cut the neck to length, glue the fretboard on, and I would also really like to be able to get the frets into the fretboard. If I can get to that stage, I'll be happier. If I can also do the fret leveling, crowning and dressing, polishing, whatever you want to call it, and get the binding on the sides, I would be really happy. Whether or not I'm going to achieve all that today, I don't know, because when I put the heel block on, and I glue the heel block on and the fretboard on, obviously I have to make sure that they're really set really well. Now with the glue that I use, the Type Bond Original wood glue, to get a really good bond, you need at least a few hours, preferably overnight. But I've fallen quite a way behind on this. It's taken me a long time to get to this stage. I want to be able to move on a bit, so if I can get to the stage by the end of today that I've got the neck block and the fretboard and the frets and the binding all attached, fantastic. Don't think I will, but we'll see. um, and after that, it's then it's the final shaping of the neck. But before I even do that, once I've got the neck block attached, I'm not going to do any of the shaping. So I've got some nice flat planes, if you like, which will then allow me to attach this to, to the body that it's going on, and level everything up there as well, because I want to make sure I get the right angles and make sure it's in the middle, and all the rest of it, before I do the shaping. So with that neck block still square, I will be able to put this on here and clamp it in place, and do all my final adjustments. So that's the plan for that. That was a long way around. Okay, so I'll be able to, once that's glued on, I'll be able to clamp it on here, and start doing my measuring and making sure everything is where it should be, which will be a lot harder after I've done the carving and I've got curves in it and I can't put a clamp on it, you see. So that's my plan. Okay, so the first thing to do is to cut out the headstock itself. So I've got my bandsaw set up, and I'm going to pause this video here and get the camera set up by the bandsaw so you can see what I'm doing. So I will be back in for you 1 second. Okay, so is that still recording? Yes. I'm set up at the bandsaw now. Unfortunately, it's not a great angle for you. That's the best I can do right now. But I don't want to get the camera too close anyway, because of dust and everything while I'm doing this. So without further ado, let's crack on. Okay. So it's quite important that I get these cuts right. I don't want to go too deep, but I want to go deep enough so that I haven't got to do a great deal of sanding. So here we go. Noise alert. Going to lower the guard down a bit, or the guide I should say, while I make the lower cuts. Okay, so that's the headstock thickness, kind of roughed out. Yeah, again, we're going to need quite a bit of refining, but let me just grab a ruler. Had it here all the time. So I was aiming for somewhere between 13 and 15 millimeters, and yeah, it's close. It's more or less on 13. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So it has to be the right thickness for when I put the tuners through. When I put the tuners through, there needs to be enough of the post sticking out the top to wind the string on, but not too much. And you know, even if you do go a little bit thin, you can either put a veneer on here or shim out the top part of the tuner peg itself, so it's not going to be a huge problem. Okay, so the next stage is to use my belt sander to kind of level things off a bit. If I just grab a straight edge and put along the top of the neck, you're really not going to be able to see this. I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, I mean it's not bad, but it's not perfectly level, which obviously it needs to be. So I think before I do that, I just get the fretboard and measure that up to where the mark it's going to go on the neck, and then I will cut off the excess on the bottom. So let's just grab a pencil. So I'm going to line up the fretboard, the top of the fretboard, with the mark at the top, and then draw a pencil line across here and just cut off the excess for now. There's no point leaving that on there any longer. Just means extra sanding from material that I'm going to cut off anyway, so there really isn't much point. Okay, so there's my pencil line to cut. I'm going to leave it just slightly proud of that, just in case I've, you know, miscalculated. Ooh, camera's in the way. I'll have to move you back a little bit. Okay, here we go. Actually, I'll just move that guide down. Save any unnecessary wandering of the blade. Okay, here we go. Right, so I'll just put the fretboard back on again and see how we're looking. Oh dear, I've made a big mistake. So I've got two lines here, and I lined it up with the top one, which is where the nut will go. So now it's perfect there. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. I can fix that. I can just put a block on the end, but oh dear, what a silly boy. Yeah, I'm not going to get away with that any other way. Oh dear, trying to rush it, that's the problem. Okay, I can sort that out, that's no problem. What I probably will do, what I'll do with my heel block that I'm going to put on the end, I will countersink it so that it kind of comes up like that over the end. Oh, is that going to give me enough heel block? Yeah, that should be fine. So I'll still have that much heel block, which should be more than enough really. Let's just measure it up against the body. Yeah, I mean, it can't be any wider than the body anyway, so once I line that up, oh dear. Yeah, you really can't see it, but yeah, you can just about see that it's sticking over the edge anyway, so I've got plenty of room to sort out that silly little problem. Okay, so let's start to just level that off first, okay? How well can you see what I'm doing? Not very well at all. Let me see if I can move you around here. That should be a bit better. A bit. Okay, so just going to use my belt sander just to kind of level things up a bit. I'm not going to go too mad at this stage. So, noise alert, here we go. Okay, well that's it's coming along, but it's quite a long process, so I'm not going to film all of this. And you've probably seen me putting the straight edge along it like this, and then I'm holding it up to the light so that I can see if any light is coming through any gaps, and I can still see a little bit here and there. So it still needs a little bit more. And as I said, I need to do the back as well, where I'm going to attach the heel block, and I need to make sure that the end is perfectly square. It probably isn't. Yeah, I've still got a fair bit to do on that, which I'm going to do off camera, because it isn't really very exciting watching me sanding this, and I'll kind of get the curves going on here as well, which again is just more and more sanding, filing, rasping, etc. So you don't really need to watch me doing that. So that is the end of part 5, and I'm going to continue with this today. So part 6 will be recorded today as well. And there's the remote for my camera. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying watching this series. There's plenty more to come. I've still got a long way to go with this build yet, and I've decided I'm going to do the third one, the third cigar box guitar, slightly differently, well, quite a bit differently, which you'll obviously see in later videos. So in the meantime, I want to thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, yada yada yada, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.